Online Bowling Channel is proud to present live coverage of the 2012 Team Masters Grand Championships, brought to you by Ebonite. Bowl to win. For more information, visit ebonite.com. And by Dexter. Also by Kegel, official lane maintenance program of the Team Masters. And welcome inside Grand Central Terminal, New York, New York. We're in Vanderbilt Hall for our continuing coverage of the Team Masters Grand Championships. Hello, friends. Mike J. Laneside alongside the bowling guy, Jason Thomas. And Jason, our next match features a pair of undefeated players, Jacob Edinger and Aaron Yuratovich.
That's right, Mike J. And this should be an exciting match. You've got Aaron Yuratovich. He spent some time with us in the booth, and he's got some great personality. Gets fired up when he's on. And Jacob Edinger, both looking to get a pass into the finals tomorrow with a win in this match.
A 2-0 record would put yourself into that position like Ashley Dunn just did here live on Extra Frame. Ashley is the first to seed herself into the girls' side of things championship match, as Jacob Edinger and Aaron Yuratovich finish up their warm-up time here at Grand Central Terminal. Coming up at approximately 8 o'clock tonight, we'll have our final match of the evening, as Haley Rubin is getting set to face Melanie Hannon. Our final of 8 preliminary round best of 2 matches. If the player can win 2 games, they win the point for the match. In the event of a 1-1 tie after 2, there will be a sudden death 1-ball roll-off to determine the winner of the match.
And we've had roll-offs in every single match except for the last one that we just watched between Ashley Dunn and Jessica Davies.
For more information on the Teen Masters Bowling program, we invite you to teenmastersbowling.com. And the PBA is proud to team up with Killer Bee Promotions for the 2nd straight season to bring you this great live coverage of this youth championship. In fact, let's take time out now and meet our competitors. Let's meet Jacob Edinger.
My name is Jacob Edinger. I'm 18 years old, and I'm from Lafayette, Colorado. I've been bowling since I was 10 years old. I'm going to college next year at Weber International University, and I'm going to major in sports business management. Being present and being there in every shot and really focusing is going to be a challenge because you're going to have so many outside factors. I'd like to thank my coach back home, Mike Diaz. He's been a huge influence on me, and he's spent countless hours working with me. I'd like to thank God and Jesus. They've been with me all the way, and I couldn't be here without them.
Jacob Edinger, chance to meet him as the Gary Beck team put out some great promotional videos in advance of this Teen Masters Grand Championships. We also have our sideline reporter, who is a 3-time member of Team USA, and she bowls collegiately at Nebraska. And she is standing by with Aaron Yuratovich. Good evening, Elise.
Game to help you win this match?
Well, I was kind of uncomfortable the first game, so it's going to be kind of just get comfortable and just hopefully hit my target. And I threw both balls in practice, had an okay ball reaction, so I'm going to just hopefully I can knock the pins down like I did last match.
All right, now both of you guys are going into this match undefeated. What do you think will be the deciding factor on who wins?
I think it's, really whoever strikes the most, but whoever really hits their target. Whoever bowls the better game is going to come out on top. But you never know. Hopefully it goes my way. But, if it doesn't, it doesn't.
All right, we'll see who comes out on top in just a few minutes. Back to you, Mike.
Miss Bolton, thank you. And that is Aaron Yuratovich, who sat in with us doing some color commentary. Aaron actually is a subscriber to Extra Frame Online Bowling Channel, watches us frequently. He was excited to get his crack in the booth. And part of the future of the game, Jason Thomas. What an interesting young man.
Yeah, he is, and he's got a future, whether it's in the booth or whether it's out on the lanes, because he's a smart young guy. He knows bowling inside and out, and either way, he's going to be successful, whether it's as a bowler or whether it's doing something else.
And certainly people thinking about a career in the bowling industry, you know, a couple of folks out there just want to focus on the ability to make money as a professional bowler. But really, if you want a career in the bowling industry, there is a place for you. And whether it's working with a bowling center or bowling center management or bowling center marketing, or whether you're a coach or whether you do lessons or whether you write about the game as a blogger or a media member or a videographer or a streamer, you can compete professionally on the regional scene. You can compete professionally on the national scene. Now, Tournament Director Gary Beck.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our final boys match of the day. From Lafayette, Colorado, Jacob Ettinger. Jacob, wave to the big crowd. His opponent from Olathe, Kansas, Aaron Yuratovich. They will be bowling a 2-game match, best of 2. Bowler wins 2 games, the match is over. If they tie 1-1, we go to sudden death, single ball elimination to determine the outcome of the match. They're bowling for a $64,000 college scholarship. If you'd like to join us in the grandstand, seating is free. We encourage you to take photographs, just not flash photographs. There are glare issues with my hairstyle, so please no flash photography during the matches. But let's start them off with a round of applause. Good luck to our bowlers.
Tournament Director, Manager, Founder, Skyscraper Builder Gary Beck gets us rolling here in the heart of Manhattan. And Elise Bolton joins us from sideline to booth. What's your first impression of working on an extra frame, Elise?
It's exciting. It's a lot of running around. Like you said, you don't really get lunch. You don't have time to go to the bathroom. You don't have time to do anything but sit here and talk about bowling. So, but it's fun.
So Elise and the bowling guy and Mike J are with you, and now it's Jacob Edinger, 1-0 against Yuratovich, 1-0. Here we go, best of 2. Tilt in New York. Ring 10 for Ettinger. Got to meet him with that video clip. The Gary Beck team puts together a great series of promotional videos. For more on that, we invite you over to YouTube and just search for 2012 Teen Masters, and you can see clips of all 8 of our finalists, including Jacob, out of Lafayette, Florida. And he goes to Centaurus High School. I want a Centaurus High School t-shirt. Are they like the Centaurs? That would be cool. So Edinger on the board with a spare. And here's Aaron Yuratovich, who we got to meet on the microphone, and now once again on the lanes. And Elisa, one of the stories coming out of here is Cameron Doyle 0-2.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Cameron just doesn't seem himself. He doesn't seem to be. He's not bouncing off of like what happened. I don't know. He just seemed nervous more than he thinks he is, and I think he took his first loss a little too hard and didn't really come back from it.
And Yuratovich took him out in that first match, courtesy of the sudden death roll. Aaron drops the rack and gives it the little
smirk.
the little smirk. Might have got away with one there. Held pocket on the inside. So this is best of 2 if you're just joining us. Best of 2 means that if a player can win 2 games, they'll earn the point for the match. In the event of a 1-1 tie through 2, we'll have a sudden death roll-off to determine the point for the match. Both players are 1-0. Important match because when either player wins, they're going to seed themselves into tomorrow's boys championship final.
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking to know you're either a winner or you're a loser right away.
Interesting note just handed to me by Tournament Director Gary Beck that we have the possibility, if Yuratovich were to win out and go 3-0, that the other players could all be 1-2. And that is one of the many possible scenarios down the road tomorrow. A lot of things have to happen between now and then.
So Cameron could realistically somehow make it.
Yes.
And I'm guessing there's a tiebreaker.
I would imagine,
one game
yes.
roll off.
One
Everybody
game.
bowls one game.
Wow.
So right now,
That'll be an
Aaron
intense
Yuratovich is Cameron's best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if Cameron knows that. I don't even think he knows that. I think he's out. I think he thinks he's out.
I think he's probably just so disappointed that he's 0-2. He probably hasn't even thought of that yet. And at some point, you really you can't think about that because it's not in his hands anymore. And
Man, there's too many scenarios that can work, and certainly part of bowling is thinking about all the potential scenarios. So that's something down the road.
Regardless, he still made top 4 that a lot of other kids didn't get to do.
Absolutely. National championships conducted at Freeway Lanes Wycliffe in Cleveland. And the top 4 in the boys and girls divisions advance here. A trip to New York City, staying in Times Square, and walking down here to Grand Central to compete.
He's almost like a football team who's trying to get a wild card spot that last week. And if the Niners beat the Saints and the Chargers beat this team and that team loses to them, you're in. It's kind of how it has to be for Cameron to stay alive at this point.
Edinger just drilled that rack here in the amazing cavernous space that is Vanderbilt Hall. All of 30-foot ceilings in marble. Incredible sculptures around, and the steel structure that supports the lights and that scoreboard. Amazing environment. At least you got to compete here last year.
Yeah, it's exciting. Just the environment, the people, the atmosphere of people just coming by, and every time you turn around you see a new face, and just being under those lights, it's very nerve-wracking.
10 pin's going to stick around on Yuratovich. Edinger with the early lead. We're in game 1, best of 2, preliminary round matchup against these two competitors, Aaron Yuratovich and Jacob Edinger. Both players are 1-0. Whoever secures a win here tonight puts themselves in real good shape for championship action tomorrow here. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us for the final 4 matches of preliminary round competition. Then we'll have the girls, boys, and grand championships. Get a reset here. As something distracted Aaron. Goes to the shoe brush once again. Said there was a lot of debris and dust and things that collect on the lanes from time to time.
We're so close to the door that anything can come in, really.
And you just met him.
Yeah.
Look what the cat dragged in. Mike J. Lane's side. Picks up the spare, does Yuratovich. In fact, I just went out and grabbed a quick hot dog in between the last 2 rounds, and the guy looked at me and saw the logo. He said, "You guys got bowling going on in there?" I said, "Yeah, come on in."
Yeah, it's cool. People just come in, and even if they don't care about bowling, it's just cool to see that, because like Aaron had said earlier, you don't see bowling outside anywhere else, like other sports that people just play. Like, you're not going to walk into some random place and think that there's going to be a bowling alley standing there, especially when you're going to catch your train. So people just want to know what's going on, which is exactly what Gary wants to do. He just wants to get bowling out there and people to see what we all can do.
You bet. Great media coverage last year. Great video staff on board here. And lots of advanced videos you can see on YouTube, and be updates throughout this event. Up comes up high in a first split. 3 in the big 4 for Ettinger. Very makeable, though. What would you say, how many, if you see 10 of these, how many are you going to make?
Of this particular spare?
Yeah, that 3, 4, 6, 7, 10.
I would say probably 5. I would hope for at least 50% on something like this, because like Cameron says, 3 6 10s are not nice to me. So anything with that combination, I would at least hope for 50.
Seen one of these made today. And we've just seen our second. Jacob
Okay.
Edinger, pretty conversion of the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Stays clean.
Easy spare. We've seen that. I mean, we've seen that twice, and it's been made twice, and we've seen the 3 6 10 probably 10 times, and that's been made probably twice. So easier than a 3 6 10.
So here's Aaron Yuratovich. He's 1-0. He's out of Olathe, Kansas. Attends Olathe East High School. Be a junior this year. Each player is clean. Ettinger with a slight lead here in game 1 on the benefit of a double. Best of 2. Got the unique split screen view to really just check out the reaction all the way back.
Aaron's really fun to watch because he has emotion before he even picks up his ball till the end of his shot and after. So it's always fun to watch him.
He's a fun kid. He's got a passion for the game. He talks bowling, and it's just great to see as the PBA teams up with Teen Masters, as we all look for the solution of how to make bowling more fun and how to make it more popular and how to make the competitions better attended and more important. And it's folks like that.
The future of bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Aaron also is a subscriber to Extra Frame, so he watches the pros in action and probably picks up things and learns different elements for his game. And yourself, you've traveled the world with Team USA and have got a chance to see competition all over the world. What's the favorite place that you've got a chance to visit with your international travels?
Well, actually, I've only been to the Dominican, and it was actually kind of cool, but scary at the same time, because the culture is just so different. Like, we saw people just walking around with shotguns like it was nothing. Like, you're just not used to that, and it's just cool to be with your team, and even like when I just bowled TOAs with them, and just to be with them somewhere and be able to spend time with them is really cool to get to know different people.
Certainly all the friends made through the Teen Masters program over the years. I'm sure you've got a cell phone full of people you can call on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was just in Indianapolis, and a group of us that bowled Teen Masters 5 years ago, we all had hung out then, and we all got together, and we called it the Teen Masters reunion, just because, you know, that's where we all became friends, like really good friends, and we all still talk to this day, and it was all because of Teen Masters.
6-pin lead for Ettinger as Yuratovich toes the line here in the 5th frame. Aaron looking for his first double in this best of 2, game 1 at Grand Central Terminal in New York City. Mike J. Laneside with the bowling guy Jason Thomas and Team USA's Elise Bolton handling sideline and booth duties with us today and tomorrow here in New York City. Yuratovich gives the bag a workout. It's not your typical bowling installation. We've got human pin setters and ball returns. And there's some hand fans down there, but not the traditional bowling hand dryer. So bowlers attempting to do everything they can to keep that hand dry. 5th frame. It's going to scoot high, and there's that dreaded 3-6-10. 3-6-10 played a big role in this year's World Series of Bowling out in Las Vegas. The 4th edition is coming up. If you are a PBA member and would like to take part, November 2nd through the 11th at South Point. Visit pba.com for more information. Aaron Yuratovich was talking about bowling the World Series of Bowling this year. And Zach Attori has done it the last 2.
Because of his wins here at Teen Masters.
Exactly.
There, the 3-6-10 missed again.
There we go. It's easier to make with the 4-7 with it. So open frame for Yuratovich, first open.
I feel like it's such an easy spare that people just psych themselves out because they miss it so much, and it gets into their heads that it's so hard because it's so easy, I feel like.
Ettinger up 84 through 4, spare up, doubled back in the 2nd and 3rd. Kind of came out of it a little bit, but good result for Ettinger.
The thing about Aaron and his bowling style is he has a very the same routine every time. He doesn't change it up, which is very important, especially in this type of environment. You want to make sure you do the same thing so you can keep your mind grounded before each shot.
just about 4-pin high, and a little ballet there out of Yuratovich. As you mentioned, he likes to tell you what he's feeling through pantomime. Not unlike a young Chris Barnes plying his trade in the wheat fields of Kansas. Spare for Yuratovich, 83 through 5, spare up. He trails by 21 to Jake Edinger. Look at the score. Overhanging our facility here at Vanderbilt Hall, Grand Central Terminal, New York, New York. Second season of live coverage. We're glad you're watching wherever you're at tonight, live on your online bowling channel. Invite you to stay tuned. We've got more action coming. Final PBA Tour senior season stop is coming up in Decatur, Illinois, starting on Sunday. And then we'll have the Silverado National for the first time in Reno, end of the month. PBA.com, the place for the schedule. That scoots up a bit high, avoids the baby split. 3-pin for Edinger.
Starting to hook a little bit, Mike J. You have to make some jumps left.
Seems like these players think it's them, though, right now. I don't think they're seeing that it's the lane, because from Aaron's reaction, it seemed like he just thought he threw a bad shot, and I think it was the lane picking up.
Edinger's 18. He's a graduate of Centaurus High School in Lafayette. And he's headed to Weber International in Lake Wales, Florida. You have any people that you bowl against at Weber International?
Oh, yeah, I know all of the Weber team because I live right there, like an hour from Kegel, so I know them all pretty well. It's a great team. It's a great program. Obviously, it showed. I mean, they're still a new program, and they already have like 3 national titles, and going there, you're only going to get better as a bowler, regardless if you play or not. So it's a great school.
So Edinger hoping to make college life a little easier with a $64,000 scholarship. That's what we're playing for here in New York City. Back-to-back years that the Team Masters has been able to provide that top prize. In fact, if you'd like to chat about the event and you're on Twitter, and invite you to hashtag Team Masters. I know Ashley Dunn is out there tweeting, and other players are tweeting scores and information and photos. So if you have a comment, or if you'd like to follow along with the tweets coming from New York City, just hashtag Team Masters. It's a 7 count there, missing the head pin for Ettinger.
That's the mistake there. That's called missing a move, Mike J. When the ball, when you start making good shots and it's hooking high, he decided, I'm just going to get this one right. It's not going to hook. Now you're missing the move right there. That's what tour players call missing a move.
I just call it the 8th frame. So picks up the spare.
Well, it's such a tiny tube that they're bowling in, Mike J. They're trying to set the lanes up for themselves. It's a long pattern. They're going to start it in a little deeper, and they're trying to create a little groove in the middle part of the lane that they can play in to give themselves a little bit of margin for error. But it's so tiny that if you're not lined up, you know, and staying on that track the whole way, it's very easy to lose. And then it's almost impossible to re-find it once you've lost it.
Yuratovich trails by 18 here, but he's on a strike, 8th frame. Can cut it to 8 and get a reset.
That's one of the Sean Rash in his category of 3 balks. That's a timing balk right there. Looks like he just didn't push the ball when he wanted it to, and stopped and decided to reset. Now he's trying to go through his mental process to remind himself, push it there, dummy.
He has the best facial expressions.
Talking to it. No, split.
It was a good shot. It just hooked
Yeah,
up.
I don't think he made the move. I think he just tried to throw a better shot. And I think he threw a good shot, and he just is not in the right part of the lane.
So he just needs to get his feet a few boards left, 4 or 5 boards left. Move his eyes 1 or 2 with it, and he'll have the pocket again.
.131 open. Best Yuratovich can do now is 191. And Edinger is at a 2:01 pace. Ninth frame, working on a spare, Jacob Edinger. Flushed it.
It looks like he made the move left. It looked a little bit more left, and he threw a good shot, and he got the results.
Take a look at the crowd that's gathered here. We've got seating left and right, and people passing between Grand Central and 42nd Street here in New York. And that is going to spell doom in game 1 for Aaron Yuratovich.
Which typically has spelled a win in all these matches so far. The player that loses the first game looks like normally comes back to win the second, and then the roll-off. So,
well, he went down to Doyle in game 1, came back to win game 2 and the roll-off. He'll need to do it again if he'd like to remain undefeated.
even though he's struggling this game and he's not bowling, a very good score, he's pretty close, Mike J. And that's the important thing, is going into this second game of this match, being close and having a shot. It's really good for your confidence.
This is a working train station, so from time to time you get announcements and vehicles going by and other things, but Jacob just takes it in stride, and we begin the 10th frame with experimentation time for both players. Edinger game in hand, and now a couple of balls to maybe fish around, try something else, set himself up for game 2. Not been a lot of success for players winning game 1. In fact, they're only 1, 4, 6. Those that have won game 1 that have gone on to win game 2. Ashley Dunn being the only one. Just happened earlier here. Reminder, we've got one more match for you tonight. 2-seeded Haley Rubin takes on the number 4 seed Melanie Hannon coming up. Rubin is 1-0, and Hannon is 0-1.
What do you guys think of Jacob's LeBron James glasses?
I think it's a fashion statement. I think it's cool. I'm like one of those people that like to be outside the box, so I think it's cool that he does it because he likes it and doesn't care what anyone else thinks.
Yeah. If LeBron's doing it, it's not too long before the rest of the world's doing it.
Exactly. And they're Ray-Bans too. It's not like they're, they're stylish.
If you just joined us, it's Mike J. Laneside with Elise Bolton, member of Team USA, working the sideline of the booth with us today. Jason Thomas is the bowling guy, and you are watching the Bowling Channel live on Extra Frame. Teen Masters Grand Championships, 2-game best of 2 matchup between Jacob Ettinger, ball in hand, and Aaron Yuratovich. Each player is 1-0, trying to end their day 2-0. Jacob's got this game in hand and takes a 1-game-to-none lead. 220 for Ettinger.
Hopefully Aaron uses his 10th frame to really find something, make a big move, something.
Best Yuratovich can do is 169, so the game is lost, but not the opportunity for some bowling information. Every shot matters, even in a losing cause. There's
Good
that
timing,
same,
Bach.
Yeah. Cameron Doyle just behind
Surprised he didn't reset.
Yuratovich.
Keeps moving left. He's inching left, though. He needs to jump left, guys.
Not only do you have the bowlers bowling breaking down the lane, but the heat is breaking down the lane. So that transition, it's not like normal bowling alley where it'll happen slowly. It happens drastically. And I experienced that last year where I was playing farther right and I just had to move like 5 boards left just to get the ball where it needed to be.
Yeah, and the lights don't help either.
No.
Got some big spotlight lights above, and they're burning, raising the temperature here on the lanes. See, and that's the problem with just throwing it right. You've got to jump left and throw it right, so the ball gets right later.
Yeah.
So final score, game 1, Ettinger 220, Yuratovich 157. We'll move to game 2.
This match will be over. If Aaron wins, we will go to sudden death, one ball shootout. They're bowling for a $64,000 college scholarship. Immediately following this match, we will have Melanie Hannon from Cheektowaga, New York versus Haley Rubin from Brandon, South Dakota. Please no flash photography. If you'd like to join us in the stands, you're welcome to do so at this time. Let's give the bowlers a round of applause.
And here we go. Yuratovich down at 1-0. Was in that position earlier today against Cameron Doyle. Took game 2 and the roll-off. If he wants to be 2-0, he's going to need to repeat that performance. Here we go. Opening shot in game 2. Didn't like the footwork.
It's just hard to get used to getting it right so quickly, Mike J. You know, these bowlers are really good on these tougher patterns, but even still, you're more used to bowling on conditions where there's volume to your left, and that doesn't require you to throw the ball right so quickly at such a steep angle. And the hardest thing to do between tour players and players that haven't seen lane conditions like that very often is that little trick.
And they almost all fell down. 7 stands. Avoids worse fate. Also, if you've just joined us, this tournament requires only 2 strike balls. You have your choice between the Ebonite Pursuit or Pursuit S and an Ebonite Cyclone as a strike ball. You may carry a plastic ball, but can only be used for spares. Part of the Team Masters program to determine the best player. And how is that received from competitors? You've done it, Elise?
I really think that it gives the better players an advantage because those are the players that know how to make physical adjustments rather than just lane adjustments. And if you can master physical adjustments, you're going to go a lot farther. And it shows you with the people who have made it. They're all people that know what works for them, not on the lane, but what they can do if they only have one ball that's working. Because I know even when I'm in a tournament where I'm close, but I know I need something else, the first thing I want to do is try to make a physical adjustment, then make a ball change. So I think it really makes them think more, and they just have to be on their game more. So I feel like the winner is the person you know that somehow got matched up, found it, and succeeded.
Aaron having some sort of issue. Don't know if it was a pin alignment or.
Yeah, he didn't like the spotting of the pins, and he requested that 5-pin be moved more on spot. So sort of a re-rack. That was pretty close. Pretty close right there. So he's got a couple options from there. He can either stay where he is and just throw it a pinch harder. He can move a board or two left. Keep his eyes in the same place.
Didn't like the landing, but gets the spare, so Yuratovich has got spare. Jacob Edinger leads 1-0 in this best of 2. And Yuratovich needs to find a way to win this second game if he wants to force a roll-off. Otherwise, Jacob Edinger will wake up tomorrow 2-0 with a likely berth in the boys' championship. Other two competitors in the competition right behind him, there's Cameron Doyle and Greg Young. Stone Cold Ocho.
I feel like those are the best shots, though, because you at least you know you're lined up. You know you can't throw a better shot.
So with a spare, we have a virtual and complete even game number 2, with Edinger ahead in the match, 1-0. In this best of 2, one more girls division match coming up next. Here live on Extra Frame, Haley Rubin, 1-0, takes on Melanie Hannon at 0-1. And then we'll invite you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern for the conclusion of the preliminary portion, at which point we'll have semifinalists in both boys and girls divisions. We'll have a boys championship at 2 o'clock, a girls championship at 3:30, and then grand championship, boys champion versus the girls champion at 7 Eastern tomorrow to determine our $64,000 scholarship winner. Second year in a row, the Teen Masters program has rewarded its top player in the high school level with a $64,000 college scholarship.
He's got it now, Mike J. He's lined up. He just needs to execute. But, you know, that's the difference between the best tour players in the world and, you know, somebody who's a really good player like Aaron and he doesn't have the experience of a tour player. The tour player will make the move in 1 frame, whereas it took Aaron 5 or 6 frames to get lined up again. And you just don't have those frames out on tour. The players are too good. But he's going to learn. This is a great experience for him.
And now 2-10, so the sands have shifted back toward Yuratovich. Open frame for Ettinger, 46 through 3. And now Yuratovich can step on the gas, take advantage of the open frame. On a strike, he can double. early here in game number 2. Yuratovich needs it to force the roll-off for the point.
Willing to make a bet here, Mike J, with anybody that's willing to take it. If he gets a strike here, he's going to have a pretty big reaction.
Fourth frame, game number 2. Drilled it, and a no-look pass. Magic Johnson.
Got that one in a little bit, Mike, and it held off. And he wanted Jacob to know he's got a little bit of room now.
How we pass on the messages in the sport of bowling. Unlike any other.
And he said he would do that. I mean, he sat here in the booth and said, you know, if you're in a situation like that, you've got to let your opponent know that you're confident and you're coming for him.
Definitely after your opponent has a missed spare, that's the best thing to take advantage of an open like that. You just feed off of their energy that you know they're obviously not happy, and do what he did and strike and put the pressure back on them.
And now Edinger finds himself having been leapfrogged, Mike J. We all know what leapfrogging is. It's when your opponent gets further left than you. And now Edinger, when he gets the ball left, he's hitting Aaron's laydown and it goes high. And when he gets the ball right, it's never picking up because he's hitting his carry down and it goes light. So he needs to make a big jump left and get in where Aaron is, and then hope Aaron helps him out a little bit so we can hopefully wrap up this match in 2 games. And if he can't, then it's going to go to a roll-off. There's a look at the score. Aaron can take a 33-pin lead here. And we'll see another big reaction out of him if he can throw one more strike.
There it is. Little hi, how are you from Yuratovich. Turkey through the 5th frame. Needs it to force a roll-off as both players battling for the point that will put them at 2-0. Didn't seem like Jacob Edinger is a guy you're going to rattle too much, though. Pretty confident in his own ability in a different way than displayed by Yuratovich. So Jacob now up in the 5th frame. And now Jacob's lost, and Jason, I think you pegged it.
Yeah, he's got to get left, and he's almost at the point now where the match is getting out of hand, and he needs to take some risk and figure out where he needs to be playing in that roll-off.
.34-pin advantage for Yuratovich, stepping up now in the 6th frame.
I mean, let's take note here of where Aaron's ball is crossing the arrows versus where Jacob's ball is crossing the arrows. And my prediction is that if Jacob can't get his ball to start as deep as Aaron's, he's going to have a really hard time winning this match, even in the roll-off.
Oh, we're going to get that timing balk once again. No shot clock here at the Teen Masters Grand Championships.
I feel like if there was, Aaron already be disqualified by this point.
Yeah, a couple of fines for players on the PBA Tour.
Well, if he wins, then he could pay it off with his scholarship money.
Absolutely. Well, we don't want. We'd rather have him get books and tuition and
Yep.
a meal pass.
That's why Gary doesn't have that rule in place for Teen Masters.
On a turkey, 6 frame. Here's Yuratovich. Oh, yeah, likes it. Little fist pump.
Aaron's in that sweet part of the lane that he found that line where if he throws a really good shot, he's going to strike, but he has room to miss. And that's what's great about just taking risks and trying to find something where even if you throw a bad shot, you're still going to strike.
Well, his ball crossed about 18 at the arrows there, guys. And let's see where Jacob Edinger's ball is crossing him. The last few shots have been around 14 or 15, so he needs to get himself a little bit deeper with his feet and get that ball to cross the arrows more around 4th arrow, because that's where the tube is right now. That was better, much better. He was right there on top of where Aaron was playing. About 4 boards left of the last several shots. Is there a monkey in here, Mike J?
I don't know what that is. Puppy, maybe?
Seen a couple dogs go by standing over there.
All right, so Aaron Yuratovich trying to keep the pressure on Jacob Edinger. Jacob has an outside chance in this second game, but Aaron well on his way to forcing a sudden death roll-off if he can just stay ahead.
Oh,
wow.
my.
That's a huge mistake right there. Not often you see somebody guttering, playing the 4th arrow, and your break point is left of 8.
No, I know earlier it said he hit his ankle, so I don't know if that had anything to do with that.
Could be. That was just an extremely wild shot.
I was going to say he almost hit my ankle. Lost count on the string, but he can still pick up the mark here on the full rack. And oh, 2-pin stand. So he lost a bunch there. And an open frame for Yuratovich. And Edinger is right back in it. He only trails by 2 pins. In fact, he can step up now, strike in the 7th, and take the lead.
Unbelievable. And he's now lined up.
That's a 4-mark swing that can be completed with an Edinger double to take the lead now on the Yuratovich miscue. Edinger up a game, looking to close it out. 7th frame to take the lead. And that comes up high. No gimme with a 3, 6, 9, and 10.
A little grabby on that one, Mike J. He made the move left, and he wants to make sure he catches it so that the ball makes it around the corner, and just grabbed it a little too much. Got the ball started up a little quick, and it refused to lay off.
Spare for Edinger. Let me redo my math. It's a 22-pin advantage for Yuratovich.
But still, even the fact that it could be that close in just one frame It shows you kind of the quirkiness of the scoring system of bowling and how quickly things can turn.
So there it is through 7. Assume 125 for Ettinger. That means a 22-pin lead for Yuratovich.
That's what's so cool about this format, though, is that you never know who's going to win. Like, even whoever, obviously, like today, you never know. Even the winner of the first game, never know what's going to happen.
Back in the pocket, Yuratovich drops a rack, trying to force sudden death roll-off. Looking ahead at the seedings, Ettinger's number 2 and Yuratovich number 4, so Jacob would choose order in a roll-off. Aaron doing some math. Was that Chisholm Bop? Google that if you're out there.
Well, and this is, Yuratovich has to win this match in order for Cameron Doyle to stay alive, too. Remember that.
So Cameron's probably doing the numbers behind him.
Yes, he's biting his fingernails.
And he's not even bowling.
Voraciously.
So the lead is 22. We're in the 9th frame. Game 2, Edinger up 1 game. And Yuratovich needs to finish and also kind of think ahead for roll-off, anticipating that Edinger might make him go first. .147 through 7 strikeout. 22-pin lead can extend to 32 8th frame, rather 9th frame. Oy vey, as they say in the deli down the street.
Boy, he's just had some disasters. Just disastrous here. 0-9 and now a 5 count. Got to make sure you get the count here, Mike J. All right.
8 and out in the 9th for Yuratovich, 173. Now just an 8-pin lead, and now Jacob Edinger will step up in the 9th frame. He can double to take the lead in game 2. Up a game, wants to avoid the sudden death roll-off. Sleep a lot easier at 2-0. Everyone will bowl one additional match tomorrow before our championship round. Now here's Edinger to take the lead, 9th frame. Flushed it. High flush and a saunter back to the chair. Yuratovich will finish the 10th frame. The best he can shoot is 203. Would force a mark out of Edinger in the 10th.
Yeah, he'd need the first strike and 9 spare. But first, Yuratovich has to get all 3 strikes. Or not only are his chances hurt a little bit, but Cameron Doyle is completely out of the tournament.
Good shot.
Yuratovich giving it the business. Look at that. Love it. That's right out of the Chris Barnes playbook. Got a chance to visit with Aaron, earlier, if you missed some of our early day coverage, Aaron was with us in the extra frame booth calling some action with us. Very personable young man, passionate about his bowling, passionate about youth bowling, passionate about PBA bowling. Trying to visualize a double here.
You can tell Cameron's a little nervous. He knows what needs to happen for him to make the final match. And he's taking deep breaths right there with Aaron.
Oh, drilled it. Drilled it. Quality shot from Yuratovich.
Well, he said he liked the pressure situations, Mike J. He felt like he was very confident in his ability to come through under pressure, and right there he absolutely needed 2 perfect shots, and he posted those 2 shots as good as you can throw it. Count is big right here, Mike J, because now he's already forced Jacob to get the first strike. But what he gets on this fill ball is going to determine how many Jacob will need on the second shot. So a strike here will force Jacob to get 9 spare, and anything less will allow Jacob to miss a little bit more on the second shot in the 10th. Jacob's still going to need that first strike in the 10th regardless of what happens here.
Strikeout. 2-0-3 finish for Yuratovich.
Can't throw it much better than he just did those last 3 shots.
Those were 3 perfect quality shots. Norm Duke couldn't throw 3 better than that.
Fun to watch him work, but he's put the pressure back on Edinger. Edinger has the first game, and he can take it off the sheet and cash in 2-0. He needs, he must, he absolutely has to have this strike. Anything less, Yuratovich wins, and we go to sudden death roll-off for the match. 10th frame. High, and we're going to have a roll-off.
Look, Cameron leaving. Cameron's going to go have a heart attack.
That is crazy.
So once again, the ability to perform in the 10th, and Yuratovich drilled 3 shots, and now we're going to have a roll-off.
Yeah, and now I think the advantage goes to Aaron Yuratovich because of the fact that he likes performing under the pressure.
Just like you said, most likely we'll see him go first for this roll-off.
And interesting that Ettinger didn't try for the strike ball. He went for the meaningless count when he could have had an opportunity to reline himself.
Definitely.
So
That's one of those
maybe a
shots
lost opportunity there for Ettinger.
You definitely have to take the information, especially when you have to.
Ladies and gentlemen, our score is 1-1. We now go to sudden death to determine who wins the match. It'll be a 1-ball roll-off until the tie is broken. Our winner will go to bed tonight 2-0 and be guaranteed a spot in tomorrow afternoon's boys championship match. They're bowling for a $64,000 scholarship. Jacob Ettinger is the 2nd seed, the highest seed in this match, and will have the choice of whether to go first or second. Let's give them a round of applause. 1-ball sudden death.
Get the decision here from Jacob Ettinger, and he will have Yuratovich start. Interesting.
I'm sure Aaron's pretty happy about that.
Interesting. Aaron just got through the 10th frame flushing all three. Sudden death roll-off to determine the champion here of this match. Each player 1-0 looking to go 2-0, and it's going to ride on a sudden death one-ball roll-off. Yuratovich to start. Finish up the 10th frame with 3 labeled dead pocket hits.
I mean, I think that choice is a little bit of a mistake, Mike J, because he could have made Yuratovich sit on the bench for an extra couple of minutes while he threw his shot, and he finished the match first, so he could have been sitting there for a long time, and now by letting him go first, he takes that advantage away.
Didn't like it. Gets a monumental break. Crumbles a 9.
Cameron's happy.
Now Edinger must match it.
I think Cameron's more excited about this than he was about his own bowling.
Each player is 1-0. Edinger must strike to extend the roll-off. He didn't take the information ball on that last shot in the 10th. He declined to go first, and now the pressure is solely on the shoulders of Jacob Ettinger. Must strike to extend the roll-off. Pin, and Yuratovich comes back from 0-1 to take the match. He's 2-0, and Ettinger is 1-1. Elise is going to head down and grab Aaron Yuratovich, and Bowling Guy, another unlikely finish here at the Teen Masters.
Yeah, it just keeps getting unlikelier and better, and there's Aaron hugging his family, and Cameron Doyle coming over to get a hug of his own, because that keeps him alive in the tournament. So Aaron Yuratovich, he's earned a spot in the finals. We've still got one more match each to bowl tomorrow. We've still got one more match here tonight.
Coming up next, Haley Rubin and Melanie Hannon will have our final best of 2 tonight, as we invite you tomorrow for the final 4 matches beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, at which point we'll have a couple of semifinalists for our boys and girls championship, and we invite you back here tomorrow. Championship round starts at 2 Eastern tomorrow, followed by another championship match at 3:30 Eastern, boys and girls, and then 7 p.m. grand championship, boy versus girl, for the $64,000 college scholarship. Live Teen Masters Grand Championships coming up, and then tomorrow resuming at 9 a.m. Eastern here at Grand Central Terminal in Vanderbilt Hall on the island of Manhattan here in New York City. So one more match coming up. Elise is getting into position with Aaron Yuratovich, and we'll have that interview for you before we take a short break, and then we'll be back with our final match tonight. As the Team Masters Championships rolls on, time now to throw it. 2 extra frames, Elise Bolton.
All right, Aaron, going into that, at the end of your last match, you had a good half of the first game, and then you had a couple of bad shots in there. What happened when you guttered?
Well, I bounced it off my ankle, and I'm like, okay, it had no chance. And then I got up and almost rolled the 2, but I just bounced it off my ankle.
What were you thinking going into those last 3 shots, knowing you needed it to put pressure on him?
Well, I kind of did the count, and I said, okay, if he strikes, he's got 8 spare to tie, and I kind of I threw 3 in the 10th, and I actually looked up, and I kind of shut my eyes, and I was just like, God, please give me something now. And thanks, helping me out one time.
I have to ask, how did that Brooklyn feel?
Well, it felt terrible. Every time tonight I put my hand in the bowling ball, my hand's so sweaty that it's just grab, 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 grab. So it was like just to get it off my hand and to go. I mean, you never want to go Brooklyn. I mean, at least it was a better Brooklyn than Greg's, but it was still nice. I mean, you never want to win like that, but I'm not going to give it back.
All right, well, with the winner of the last boys match of the night, back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Elise Bolton, and thank you, Aaron Yuratovich, for providing us entertainment today on and off the lanes. So, Aaron Yuratovich 2-0 sends Jacob Edinger to 1-1, and one more match coming up. When we come back live here on Extra Frame, Haley Rubin takes on Melanie Hannon. For Mike J. Laneside, that's me, and Jason Thomas, the bowling guy, and Elise Bolton. We'll have you back here in about 15 minutes, recondition the lane, and we'll have some warm-up, and then we'll be back with our final match tonight as the Team Masters Grand Championships roll on in